Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. We have from Marlborough, Gloria Goguen. Right? I said it right. Beautiful last name. She's a visual artist, and she is a multi-medium artist. Welcome, Gloria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you from Marlborough, and you were originally from Newfoundland.
No, my mother was.
Your mom was from there?
Yeah. I originally am from Gardner.
Okay.
And I lived for many years in Worcester, about 40 years, I'd say, and I recently, 2 years ago, moved to Marlborough.
What part of Worcester were you in?
I was in the west side, in Tatnick Square area.
Oh, yeah. You know, we have Tatnick Bookseller now over in Westboro.
Yeah.
So you're not too far from everything?
Yeah. No, I'm not. No. And I'm still very much connected to Worcester in general. I'm a member of Arts Worcester, so I'm there all the time.
What about Arts on the Street?
I go to it
Yeah.
As a consumer, as a customer.
Right.
I don't really participate because I don't do really large volume art.
It's a different style.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's more
marketing. What about that Worcester Museum we have? Have you ever had anything there, like displayed, or have you taught anything about it?
I actually take classes there regularly, off and on.
What do you take?
I've taken Asian brush painting there, and I used to, there's a gentleman who retired a couple of years ago, and I actually was part of a studio class he ran. So a bunch of artists who bring in their own work and have him critique and help us along with our projects.
Is that called, did you say Indian brush painting?
The brush painting is Asian.
Oh, like the beautiful Chinese?
Yeah, sumi ink and in watercolor, yeah.
That sounds awesome. Now, when did you start and wait till you see her artwork. When did you become interested in art? When you were a little kid?
I became interested in art very young. My mother was very creative. She didn't draw and she didn't paint, but she made all kinds of things. And so she encouraged me to do so. So I think the first painting class I ever did was at 10 years old. She sent me to like a nightlife sort of class where you go to the school after hours,
At 10?
Yeah. Because I like to draw.
Nightlife now, it's for seniors or adults, you know.
I was the only child in the class. It was all adults. Yeah. And she asked for permission for me to go there, and and it was fun.
So you made it through high school? They knew you had a talent there, right?
I did a lot of artwork in high school, I did an awful lot of, and really, really got into doing color pencil work. And when people hear color pencil, they're kind of fascinated by it because they just think of coloring, because today there's a meditative thing where you just color things, but I actually paint with color pencils.
Coloring books are glorious.
Yeah.
I mean, I design my abstract and all kinds of things, but you know, if I want to just chill, you see a good coloring book, right? I'm not that great with colored pencils, usually with Sharpie, the markers, or crayons. I went to a class for colored pencils. You can find out which is your favorite, because that just, for me, but I love multi-Sharpie, that does with my art, my abstract, and crayons.
Yeah.
You can melt crayons and it goes down and it makes a design. Now, so we made it through high school. What did you do after that?
I actually, I worked in the regular business world. I always pursued art on the side. And I took classes and did my own thing and always sketched and drew. But for many years I worked for the state, and I actually worked at Worcester State Hospital. And I left there, I worked there about 18 years.
What were you doing there?
I worked in the communications department. So
the old one that they
Yes. Yep, the
they
old
haven't
one.
torn that down? Well, the old one they've torn down.
Yeah,
The
but
one in the middle in the 60s is still there.
That's the one I worked in.
And then what is with this big new one they have there? It's sort of like they've got it set up great for the patients.
Treatment and Rehabilitation Center, yeah.
Have you been in there?
I've never been in there because I worked in the one from the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
And my mother got me a job. My mother and my father worked there. My father was a nurse,
Yeah.
and my mother was a supervisor of nurses' aides.
Where they
And
had to
so-
have the patience of Job to work
Yeah,
there.
they got me a job there. But
Yeah.
my latter working years, I worked for Hanover Insurance.
For what? Intervention? What did you say?
Hanover Insurance.
Hanover Insurance.
Yeah, so
They're still up there. And
yeah, they're still up on Lincoln.
It's a huge building, too.
I worked doing. I actually taught people customer service skills nationally, and so I worked with the claims department with adjusters who spoke with customers on the telephone.
Okay, so
You have to have a job to have the insurance and all of
Oh.
that stuff. So that's. I would have loved to have pursued full-time an art career. But there was no health insurance, there was no benefits,
No.
and I couldn't do that.
Starving artists.
Yeah. So
you
today's
were with
different.
Hanover for how many years?
I just left Hanover last year, and 10 years. Yeah.
Nowadays, the kids stay for a year.
I know.
They just
I know.
keep going up.
Yeah, they don't work long in jobs anymore. Yeah.
So then, when you left, what did you decide to just concentrate on your art?
Well, I've retired, and yes, that's exactly what I've done. For the last 5 years that I worked at Hanover, I felt like I had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So what I did is I worked full-time for Hanover, and I probably put 20 to 30 hours a week in artwork. And so it was getting really tough.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pursue art shows, I wanted to pursue art calls, I wanted to get involved in the community, and so when I retired, that's exactly what I've done. So,
Oh, she's going to show us. Pick one of yours and show. Let's start seeing some of her.
so from this perspective, this is a traditional botanical. So I am
There you go.
I am part of Arts Worcester,
Yeah.
and I am also an artist with the American Botanical Artists Society, and so this is traditional botanical art.
You
This
know,
is-
I was telling her it looked like beautiful pressed flowers, but that is colored pencil. See, you're able to master that. I don't think I had the patience to, now you've got to do it this way, you've got to do, I'm like, it wasn't fast enough for me, but look at what you did.
It's very exacting work. Yeah,
That's
you
what
have
it
to
is.
like the details. I love the details.
You are, so look at that. It just looks, what inspires you for that one?
You see bittersweet everywhere.
Yeah.
And you hear it's the bane of people's existence because it gets all over everything and it takes down all the natural trees. At the same time, people make beautiful wreaths and things out of it,
Yeah.
and people cringe because, they don't want you bringing the berries in and all
Yeah,
that.
right.
But I kind of love the color. I love the way the little yellow things open up to the
Yeah.
red berries.
Yeah.
It's just, you see it every year, and I just like the look of it.
How long did it take you to design that?
Something like this would take me probably 30 to 40 hours.
Hours?
Yes.
I was thinking days.
No.
No. You have your own studio at home?
I have a home studio, yes, and I love it. It's my little sanctuary, and I have vases all over the place, and I have flower frogs that I put flowers in, and I set things up and have all kinds of lighting, and I light vegetation to do traditional botanical artwork. So flowers, leaves,
Yeah.
branches, even fruit, squashes,
Yeah.
oranges, yeah.
Well, show us another one.
So that's a traditional botanical. This one is more. I would refer to it as.
Oh,
This is more impressionistic.
yes.
It's realistic but impressionistic,
I like it.
and so
Yeah.
I like to do artwork where I've been, and so I can tell you like the bittersweet is Tatnick Square. This is a lemon in Tower Hill.
Yeah.
So
Is that what medium is that?
That's color pencil.
It's really.
Yes.
You have that mastered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
all the shadings.
I love it, and
Oh.
and I take my sketchbook with me wherever I go.
Even a doctor's waiting room?
Yeah, I doodle and draw on things.
Do
yeah.
people ever ask you, like, what are you doing?
People will stop and watch.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of fun,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't I can draw people, and I've done figure drawing, but I don't much do that, and that's what people will ask me. They'll say, "Oh, do you ever draw people, sitting in front of you?" But yeah,
Do you sell your beautiful work?
I do. I have things for sale, and I currently don't have a website. I'm looking at building one.
How can people reach you?
But I am on Facebook at Gloria J. Goguen Art, and I'm also on Instagram at Gloria J. Goguen _art.
We're talking with Gloria Goguen, and she is a visual artist. She is multimedia. So far you've seen beautiful, takes a lot of patience, colored pencil works. She's going to have another surprise for us now. Let's see this one. That's another one. Look at the colors in that.
So this one is, this is a tulip.
Upside down? Or
It's hanging down. It was actually in a bouquet for Floor in Winter at the Worcester Art Museum a couple of years ago.
okay.
And so I just isolated that. I liked the look of that
Yeah.
one tulip.
Yeah. Do you have to be present, or can you see it in your mind's eye? Or do you take a picture first?
I do, so I do all of that.
You do,
I
yeah.
go in person. I like to draw in person. I like to sketch in person. I like to get my colors down and some of the lighting. I also take many pictures because when you're working with live subjects, they don't stay the same.
No.
And so, I take pictures and then I take them home to finish. What I really enjoy is getting plant matter myself and putting it right in the studio and working from that.
So how could people, if they want to see you, do you appear at different places with your art? You know Tatna Bookseller has a huge room in the back. Have you showed there?
No, I haven't. And I belong to the W Gallery in Wayland, Arts Wayland, so I do show work there.
Yeah.
We have a salon monthly, so I usually have work there. I had a solo show. I had a wonderful solo show, all botanical. This Bittersweet is actually from that show at the Hanover Theater Franklin Salon on the second floor. And unfortunately, it was the year COVID began. And so I went to the theater and I hung went in and hung with Arts Worcester the stuff. And they closed the theater down 2 days later. So it never, ever was seen in public. They were nice enough to put it online for me. And everybody was scrambling. But that was the
Where
way
are you
of
coming
it.
up? Where you could have any coming up?
I have work right now at Arts Worcester, and they're opening. They're on 44 Portland Street in Worcester, and they're in the old Davis Printers building.
If somebody wants you to come and give an exhibit, different places, there's so many places that can, even doctors' offices. People don't think of this. Lawyers, doctors' offices. How far would you be willing to travel, and what is your time frame? I mean, as far as being available to do this.
I'm available, and I can make arrangements. I certainly, I've actually shown work on the Cape.
Oh, where were you in the Cape?
I was in the Cultural Center at Cape Cod.
Which
It's South Yarmouth.
I lived in South Yarmouth with my parents. Is that where that big Coliseum was when I was there?
No, it looks like I'm not sure what the original use of the building was. When I look at it, it looks like an old post office. It's kind of brick with white.
How long has it been in existence?
I don't know.
Because I lived there with my parents in the mid-'70s.
Oh, yeah, it probably was another use then.
That's awesome.
It's a multicultural center. It's quite nice. They have a beautiful grand piano in the main room, and they do music, and they actually have a company that does food, so there's outdoor dining and entertainment and classes. Yeah, it's very nice. They have a pottery studio.
Show us another one.
Okay.
We're talking with Gloria Goguen, and she is a visual artist. She does different mediums.
Okay.
Is that colored pencil?
This is colored pencil too.
Look,
I brought you all colored pencil.
This is my favorite. I mean, honestly, look at it. That's a fun, upbeat, almost a fantasy happiness. Look at that. She's got the butterfly, the flowers, the leaves. I'm trying to think if that's the sun right behind it.
Yes. It
Wow.
I like to look at this as a bug's eye view.
Yeah.
So if you were to lay on the ground with flowers,
Yeah.
this is the view that I would, in my mind, you would see. Yeah.
Have you had that displayed?
Yes. Yeah. I had this displayed in Wayland, and this is part of a series, actually. This is a seasonal series. So this is summer. This is summer radiance.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a winter twilight, and I have a spring rain, and I'm currently working on a fall one. So
Are they sort of like somewhat the same colors you're using? Or
not really. The winter one is all purples and pinks. It's that odd golden sunset you see on snow with bare trees. It was Mount Wachusett.
Sure.
The spring one is kind of light greens,
Yeah.
and it's raining on freesia on the ground.
Have you ever been up? They closed the building down. It was in Framingham, and every year they would have. It's like a 3 or 4 story old factory building, and the artists had their own studios.
Oh, I know people over there. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
terrific. They
Yeah.
had to close it down.
Did they close
moved it? Oh, I can't think
Natick?
of it. Moved it to Natick, Newton.
Boston.
Okay. It was married to Boston, and we used to have so much fun because they were all different.
I've been there to other artists. So a lot of people in the area belong to Arts Worcester,
Yeah.
and there were artists that I saw their studios from Arts Worcester in that building.
Did you exhibit there? I would have
No.
remembered that right there. Oh.
Yeah, no, I've really just begun a year and a half ago
Really?
to show things. Yeah, because I was working full time. Yeah.
This is amazing. So you have your own studio at home.
Yeah.
Now, is that like a spare bedroom or a real deal?
It's a spare bedroom because I really where I don't work in a lot of oil paint or anything like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
I can work at a table, so I have a big table with like 4 leaves in it.
Should hire you to set up my room. Mine's in
it's
everything
very
room.
big. I have overhead lighting, like ring lighting
Yeah.
that has magnifying glasses in it, so that I can do the real close-up work, and then other lights around that give you natural daylight.
Do you
Because
do watercolors at all?
I do, yeah, I
Okay.
do.
I like it. It's okay, but it's not as intense as I like. What do you think?
I like watercolor, but then again, it depends what you're doing. It depends on the subject matter. So I really like acrylic for abstract,
Me
and
too.
I do abstract work as well.
Yeah.
I do multimedia collages as well. Like
What do you use for your collages?
I have one that Arts Worcester is opening a show on Friday,
Okay.
and it's called Material Matters.
Where is it going to be?
44 Portland Street in Worcester.
Where is?
It's the old Davis Printing Building. So
Oh, Southbridge. Near
Portland.
Yeah, near Southbridge Street.
No, it's right. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
It's right. If you are at the Common behind City Hall, it's one of those side streets when you look.
Behind City Hall.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the big train station.
No, but City Hall in Worcester,
Oh, right downtown.
right downtown.
And it's kind of off. You can see it on you're heading towards Southbridge Street.
Yeah.
Davis. It's not far from Coney Island hot dog.
Right.
I know
Exactly.
that.
Yes. It's not. Yeah.
So they're
yeah.
going to have, when is this going to be? Let me write this down. When is it?
So Friday, they're opening a show called Material Matters.
This Friday.
This Friday.
What's the date? It's
I'm not sure what the
18th,
date is.
I think.
Yeah. all right.
And what time?
That makes sense. They're opening at 6.
Okay.
They're having, and it's going to be quite a nice thing because
Yeah.
of everything being closed down with COVID.
Yeah.
We always had wonderful openings where we had little cash bar and some music and everything. We're finally being able to bring that back
And that's
to
what
Arts Worcester.
is now.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to have things there?
I have a multimedia collage there. Every year, the Fitchburg Art Museum does a call and response with
Yeah.
with Arts Worcester.
Sure.
And so they loan us 10 pieces from their museum, and we have to do some sort of our rendition of one of those pieces.
Right. When I think collage, for me, I think of magazine pictures, cute little things I might find in Michael's little. What do you do?
Well, it's a particular call and response. So I responded to
collages?
an African piece of cloth. It's
Yeah.
a indigo and white dyed cloth that is done. It's done in families, like the women all get together and they do designs,
like
and
quilting. Yeah,
and what they do is they do a specific. It's a starch relief technique, so they paint the starch on, dye it, and then remove the starch, and you get the white and blue.
And you did that.
And I actually took a canvas, I painted it light blue. I used a lot of fabrics from fabric designs from around the world. So blue and white is a common theme around the world. At Japan, in China, the Dutch do it, the English do it. So I included designs of all of those and created houses out of all of those designs in collage. And
houses?
Then, like different styles of houses, Japanese houses, German houses.
What's your background, canvas? Or no?
Yeah, a canvas.
You can actually do a collage on canvas. It'll stick with the glue?
It's a special kind of
Okay. What kind
medium.
of glue is it that sticks?
It's a heavy gel.
A gel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called heavy gel medium.
Heavy gel medium.
And then I actually took indigo blue paper and I drew designs in little squares that represented things that were important to my mother.
Oh.
And in Newfoundland. And like Cabot Tower was part of where she lived. And then on the bottom part of it, I did squares and I put things that were important to me and where I came from.
Right.
And in some of the squares is also Japanese reclaimed kimono silk.
Wow.
So
I have a friend in Japan who watches the show. My aunt loved all things Japanese. She'd have a shoji screen, and she had a condo in Florida. I never got down there, but evidently everything was just very Japanese. She loved red and the shoji screens and all this and that. Do you like that too?
Oh, I love them.
You do?
I have a lot of Chinese and Japanese things throughout my house.
Gloria, again, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, someone can always get a hold of me at my email address, which is gjgoguen, and Goguen is Goguen, art, @gmail.com. I have work also available on Instagram, and that's Gloria J. Goguen _art. And Facebook, I'm also on, so that would be Gloria J. Goguen art on Facebook.
There are so many places, waiting rooms. People never think of this. Different places to at least, you go in, you say, would you mind if I just had a couple up here? No price to you, but somebody, patients come in and go, wow, what's that? And then they see your little card down there. Another great way to get the word out. Besides coming up this Friday, what's coming up for you?
I have 8 pieces of work over at the Mercantile Center in
Where's
Worcester.
that?
So again, that's right off of Worcester Common.
Okay.
So it's 100 Front Street is the Mercantile Center, and so I'm participating with Arts Worcester in a corporate loan. And so they borrow 8 of my pieces for a year.
Yeah.
And they put them in their common area. So they're up now.
Do you ever go to UMass Memorial, the medical center?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the artwork they put in?
Yeah.
Is any of it ever yours? That's perfect.
I haven't actually shown there, but like I said, it's a year and a half in the making, so I'm just starting.
The medical school has a library, and they'll even have doctors' artwork shown there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have that huge other entrance to the medical school.
Yeah.
I know I was part of an exhibit years ago. I think it was the Shrewsbury Artists Guild or something. Dedicated. Everybody, whatever you did was all over that, but I can see that. That is so upbeat and happy. Your colors and it all. Definitely. A medical facility.
Yeah.
People look for things like that. And when I go into a doctor's, the little waiting room you sit in after the big waiting room, hurry up. And I'm checking out, who did this. I'm looking at the signature and I'm looking at this and that, all the different styles. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's a wonderful. I thank God that I have that.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I'm never bored. I always have something to do. And when the pandemic hit and everybody was locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this. This sounds very strange, and I've said it to people before, and my life, other than going out socially with people, was relatively unchanged because I spend a lot of time by myself in nature.
Yeah.
And so it was so wonderful for me that was relatively unaffected.
Yeah.
So I was down at, out in the woods at state parks and things. Yeah.
How about
I
senior
love
centers?
Garden in the Woods is another place of mine that, I love to go.
Senior
in Framingham.
centers? How about that? Senior centers.
Mhm.
Having those displayed. Actually, you could do a beautiful little, those little, classes that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They love to do that. Libraries.
I'm
too.
running a class right now. It's starting up in April at Wayland at the W Gallery, and I'm doing an open studio salon on Monday nights, and so that'll be like 6 to 8.
Now, do you stay mainly in the New England area?
Mm-hmm.
This area, Massachusetts?
Mm-hmm.
What about going outside of the box? Would you do that too
Oh,
if
yeah.
somebody wanted you? How
Sure.
far would you be willing to go?
I do anywhere in the East Coast. Yeah.
She's flexible.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
I'm retired, so I can do that, yeah.
It's hard to believe you're retired so soon. Oh my God. I know that Hanover building, and many times I've looked at that thinking, why can't they just UMass combine Memorial with the Hanneman Hospital?
Uh-huh.
Set up two of them, and then you've got the main one on Lake Ave. Combine those two into that Hanneman. Hanover can go anywhere, right?
Mhm.
But it's certainly big enough. And what a location, right near the highway. We've been talking with Gloria Goguen, and she's a visual artist. She uses different mediums. And we need to have you back. When are you going to have some more new ones coming up?
I have 35 more.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
have quite a room of work. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do your
So-
children love your work?
I see kids look at it in various galleries.
How about
and
children in
things.
your family?
I don't have children.
You don't
No.
No. That's because I can see that brings great happiness to children, too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us are children at heart, and when I see those colors and that beautiful way you do it,
Thank
you
you.
brighten people's day, even in hospices, palliative care centers and hospitals. Boy, would that be a great blessing. I mean, I'm a publicist. I can see where that could go.
It's a great idea.
Really happy. Be like something like Dana-Farber. We have one right here in Milford.
Hmm.
Happy stuff.
Not bad ideas.
You are an amazing artist. I'm so
Thank you.
glad you're on the show. We're going to have her back on again. Thank you for being with us, Gloria.
Thank you very
All right.
much. I appreciate the
And
time.
we'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.